All right, the first group is Windborne. They're vocal chameleons who specialize in close harmony singing. So put your hands together and give a warm Festival on the Green welcome to Windborne.
You noble diggers all, stand up now, stand up now. You noble diggers all, stand up now. The wasteland to maintain, seen cavaliers by name. Your digging do disdain, and your persons all defame. Stand up now, diggers all.
Your houses they pull down.
Stand up now, stand up now. Your houses they pull down. Stand up now. Your houses they pull down to fright poor men in town. But the gentry must come down, and the poor shall wear the crown. Stand up now, diggers all.
With spades and hoes and plows, stand up now, stand up now. With spades and hoes and plows, stand up now. Your freedom to uphold, seeing cavaliers are bold, to kill you if they could, and rights from you withhold.
Stand up now, diggers all. The gentry are all round. Stand up now, stand up now. The gentry are all round. Stand up now. The gentry are all round. On each side they are found. Their wisdom so profound to cheat us of the ground. Stand up now, diggers all.
The lawyers they conjoin.
Stand up now, stand up now. The lawyers they conjoin. Stand up now. To arrest you they advise, such fury they devise. But the devil in them lies, and hath blinded both their eyes. Stand up now, diggers all.
The clergy they come in.
Stand up now, stand up now. The clergy they come in. Stand up now. The clergy they come in and say it is a sin that we should now begin our freedom for to win. Stand up now, diggers all. The club is all their law. Stand up now, stand up now. The club is all their law. Stand up now. The club is all their law to keep poor folk in awe. But they no vision saw to maintain such a law. Stand up now, diggers all. Against the hate and fear, stand up now, stand up now. Against the hate and fear, stand up now. The press have closed their eyes, they spread the tyrant's lies. They'll tell you with their cries who to love and to despise. Stand up now, diggers all.
Thank you so much. We are so glad to be here at the Festival on the Green. We are Windborne. This is Jeremy, Lynn, Will, and I'm Lauren. We're based in southern Vermont in Brattleboro, and we sing music from traditions of harmony singing. So from a lot of stuff from the US, but also countries and cultures all around the world. So what you'll get to hear tonight is a little bit of a lot of different things. One thing that we're touring with a lot these days is a project called Song on the Times, which is a collection of songs of social struggle, songs from different movements for people's rights over the past 400 years, sung for some of the struggles that we face in today's times. So that first piece you heard, the Diggers' Song, is the oldest song in that project, and it comes from the 1600s in England, from a movement that was called the Diggers' Movement, or they were also called the True Levelers, because they were a group of radical Protestants who interpreted the Bible to be calling for social equality, to level the social classes. And it's one that, although the words were written 400 years ago, when we started to sing it, we thought that it really felt very relevant to some of the things that we see going on in our world today. And that's true of all of the songs in this project. We're going to follow it up with a piece familiar to many of you, I'm sure, that comes from not so far away from here, from Lawrence, Massachusetts, in the early 1900s, from a movement that came to be known as the Bread and Roses Strike. And it was so called in part because of a speech given by the great union activist and organizer Rose Schneiderman, who said, "What the woman that labors wants is the right to live, not simply exist. The right to life, as the rich woman has the right to life, and the sun, and music, and art. The worker must have bread, but she must have roses too." And we believe that this sentiment that working class people deserve not just the means of sustenance, but also the things that make life worth living, still very much needs fighting for today, even 100 years later. And so for us, yeah, thank you. And this piece represents not just a piece about workers' rights, but also the intersection of women's rights and immigrant rights, because the textile industry at that time was mostly women workers, and many of them also immigrants. So this is Windborne's particular take on Bread and Roses.
As we go marching, marching, in the beauty of the day, a million darkened kitchens, 1,000 mill lofts gray, are touched with all the radiance that a sudden sun discloses. For the people hear us singing, bread and roses, bread and roses. As we go marching, marching in the beauty of the day, a million darkened kitchens, 1,000 mill lofts gray, are touched with all the radiance that a sudden sun discloses. For the people hear us singing, bread and roses, bread and roses. As we go marching, marching, we fight for children too, for they are watching, learning, and they'll make the world anew. Our life shall not be sweated from birth until life closes. Hearts starve as well as bodies. Give us bread, but give us roses. As we go marching, marching, unnumbered women dead go crying through our singing their ancient cry for bread. Small art and love and beauty, their drudging spirits new. Yes, it is bread we fight for, but we fight for roses too. As we go marching, marching, together we stand tall, for the rising of the women means the rising of us all. No more the drudge and idler tend that toil where one reposes, but a sharing of life's glories. Bread and roses, 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 bread and roses. Give us bread, but give us roses. Bread and roses, bread and roses, bread and roses, bread and roses.
Thank you. Now we're going to sing you a folk song from the south of France. And this actually isn't in French, it's in a different language called Occitan, a related language, but that's only spoken now by about 1% of the population of France, but it used to be sort of the main language in the whole southern half. And there's a lot of great folk music, there's a lot of great folklore, and a lot of groups nowadays sort of reviving that and still working in that tradition. This arrangement that we did was inspired by a group called the Corps de la Plano, which I like to think of as Marseille's leading a cappella disco folk band. And the song is called No Guyatas, which means 9 girls. And the first verse says there are 9 girls in the village of Castelnau, and they all want to go dancing. And then there's some boys who are sort of sitting in the corner in the shadows, trying not to be seen because they really don't want to dance. And then the second verse says there are 8 girls in Castelnau who want to dance, and there's some guys in the shadows trying not to be seen. And the next verse says there are 7 girls in Castelnau. You can sort of see where this is going. All the girls are, it's a song of attrition, and by the end all the girls have left, and the boys are still sitting in the corner, trying not to be seen. We think of it as the Occitan equivalent of a middle school dance. No guyatas a Castelnau, no guyatas a Castelnau.
No guyatas a Castelnau, no guyatas a Castelnau.
E los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que cercan lumbre.
E los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que volan pa.
Oit guyatas a Castelnau, oit guyatas a Castelnau.
Oit guyatas a Castelnau, oit guyatas a Castelnau.
E los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que cercan lumbre.
E los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que volan pa. E los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que cercan lumbre. E los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que volan pa. Set guyatas a Castelnau, set guyatas a Castelnau.
Set guyatas a Castelnau, set guyatas a Castelnau.
E los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que cercan lumbre. E los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que volan pa. E los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que cercan lumbre. E los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que volan pa.
Shes guyatas a Castelnau, shes guyatas a Castelnau.
Shes guyatas a Castelnau, shes guyatas a Castelnau.
E los que vuelven danzar,
En los guyatas que cercan lumbre. En los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que volan pa. En los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que cercan lumbre. En los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que volan pa.
Shin guyatas a Castelnau, shin guyatas a Castelnau.
Shin guyatas a Castelnau, shin guyatas a Castelnau. En los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que cercan lumbre. En los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que volan pa. En los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que cercan lumbre. En los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que volan pa.
Tres guyatas a Castelnau, tres guyatas a Castelnau.
Tres guyatas a Castelnau, tres guyatas a Castelnau.
En los que vuelven danzar,
En los guyatas que cercan lumbre. En los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que volan pa.
en los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que cercan lumbre. En los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que volan
Duos
pa.
guyatas a Castelnau, duos guyatas a Castelnau.
Duos guyatas a Castelnau, duos guyatas a Castelnau.
En los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que cercan lumbre. En los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que volan pa. En los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que cercan lumbre. En los que vuelven danzar, en los guyatas que volan pa.
Yo guyata a Castelnau, yo guyata a Castelnau.
Yo guyata a Castelnau, yo guyata a Castelnau. En los que
eluskujackie servulunde, eloke vuliodasa, eluskujackie volumpa, eloke vuliodasa, eluskujackie servulunde, eloke vuliodasa, eluskujackie volumpa, gesticujatasa casteno.
Thank you so much. So the first song you heard us sing this evening was the oldest song in that project that Lauren told you about called Song on the Times, that collection of social struggle songs. And now we'd like to sing you the newest song in that project. It's a book and album that we have, I guess not quite so recently put out now, but it's still our newest project. And this is the newest song in that collection. It's called Slave to Time. And it's a song that Will and I wrote together after we first saw the film An Inconvenient Truth. And that was when the full horror and reality of climate change hit us particularly hard as we were watching that film and inspired us to write this piece. And the chorus says, "Do not be a slave to time. It is our call to action, to rather than being a slave to time and sitting back and having time just go by and, oh, I meant to get out and do whatever it was you feel called to do, but instead to really use the time that we are given, use it every day, every hour, every minute, and make that change, whether it's about climate change or whether it's about any other social justice issue or really anything that you feel the need to change." And as we've been singing this song, it's become apparent that while it is still very important, every little change that us as individuals can make, it is as much, if not more, important for us to hold accountable the larger corporations and governments that can have an even larger impact. Slave to time.
Also, I want to appreciate Middlebury Festival on the Green for providing reusable water bottles to the performers as opposed to plastic bottles. Thank you very much. When the days of life are thinning and the world is past its prime, look around, see how you're living. Do not be a slave to time. Oh my Father, oh my Father, do not be a slave to time. Oh my Father, oh my Father, do not be a slave to time. When the land becomes the ocean and the stars forbear to shine, do not say we had no notion. Do not say we had no sign. Oh my mother, oh my mother, do not be a slave to time. Oh my mother, oh my mother, do not be a slave to time. Do not say we had no notion. Do not say our eyes were blind. We ignored all the commotion. It was poison of the mind. Oh my brethren, oh my brethren, do not be slaves to time. Oh my brethren, oh my brethren, do not be slaves to time. not be slaves to time, oh my children, oh my children. Do not be slaves to time, oh my children, oh my children. Do not be slaves to time, oh my children, oh my children. Do not be a slave to time.
Thank you very much. So we're going to do a song now that comes from Joe Newbury, who's a great banjo player and songwriter and singer. And this is a song that he was inspired by a text by Rudyard Kipling called Mother of Mine, and turned it into this next song called I Know Whose Tears.
If I were hanged on the highest hill, if I were hanged on the highest hill, if I were hanged on the highest hill, I know whose love would suit me still. Mother, my first companion, mother, my truest friend, mother, way up in heaven, we'll meet again. If I were killed in the battle strife, if I were killed in the battle strife, if I were killed in the battle strife, I know whose lives would warn my life. If I were drowned in the salt sea, if I were drowned in the salt sea, if I were drowned in the salt sea, I know whose tears would come down to me. Mother, my first companion, mother, my truest friend, mother, way up in heaven, we'll meet again. Mother, my first companion, mother, my truest friend, mother, way up in heaven, we'll meet again. If I were dead in the cause of right, if I were dead in the cause of right, if I were dead in the cause of right, I know whose lamp would pierce the night. If I were damned, both body and soul, if I were damned, both body and soul, if I were damned, both body and soul, I know whose prayers, sweet prayers, would make me whole. Mother, my first companion, mother, my truest friend, mother, way up in heaven, we'll meet again. Mother, my first companion, mother, my truest friend, mother, way up in heaven, we'll meet again. collecting songs for this project of ours, Songs of Social Struggle, it occurred to us that a song that we had already been singing called Poor Soldier was an opportunity for us to speak about how the fact that sometimes when a soldier goes off to war and is able to come home, sometimes even once they have returned home, their struggles are not over. All out in the snow they are tonight, far away from kin and home. God help the ones who fight for the right, and them who are done gone on. Poor soldier, hungry and cold. Poor soldier, hungry and cold. 'Tis well I recollect when he bid me farewell. He wept with head held high, away to fight for the stars and the stripes, perhaps away to die. Poor soldier, hungry and cold. Poor soldier, hungry and cold. But those who sent him off to war, to risk both life and limb, now he's come home, they've all turned their backs. Oh, who will fight for him? Poor soldier, hungry and cold. Poor soldier, hungry and cold.
We're going to return to Occitania in the south of France, but not in French. And this is a song that is about life in prison. And it says, there are 9 charcoals for writing, 9 thoughts for thinking over, written on the walls of 9 prisons. He who is sound of body will go crazy in jail. It's called Now Carbus.
No.
Technical issues.
Did we mention this is a new arrangement?
Now carbus per escrire. Now pensaros per minister. Sur la Lucas bue benanan, ben kabutu ben michan. 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 We carbus per scrire, we pensaros per ministre, sulla parete we frisu. Lucas bue benanan, ben kabutu ben michan. Lucas bue benanan, ben kabutu ben michan. Sed carbus per scrire, sed pensaros per ministre, sulla parete sed prisu. Lucas bue benanan, ben kabutu ben michan. Lucas bue benanan, ben kabutu ben michan. Ses carbus per scrire, ses pensados per ministre, sulla parete ses prisu. Lucas bue benanan, ben kabutu ben michan. Lucas bue benanan, ben kabutu ben michan. Sin carbus per scrire, sin pensados per ministre, sulla parete sin prisu. Lucas bue benanan, ben kabutu ben michan. Lucas bue benanan, ben kabutu ben michan. Tres carbus per scrire, tres pensados per ministre, sulla parete tres prisu. Lucas bue benanan, ben kabutu ben michan. Lucas bue benanan, ben kabutu ben michan. Dus carbus per scrire, dos pensados per ministre, sulla parete dos prisu. Lucas bue benanan, ben kabutu ben michan. 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 Un carbu per scrire, uno pensare per ministre, sulla parete no prisu. Lucas bue benanan, ben kabutu ben michan. Lucas bue benanan, ben kabutu ben michan. Lucas bue benanan, ben kabutu ben michan. Lucas bue benanan, ben kabutu ben michan.
Two questions that we get asked a lot are, how did you all meet, and how did you develop such an eclectic taste in music to include things such as songs from the Occitan tradition in the south of France? And the answer in part to both of those things is a program called Village Harmony, which is based here in Vermont. Yes, familiar to some of you it sounds like, yes. Based in Vermont, runs singing camps for teenagers and adults in New England and all over the world, teaching harmony singing traditions from all over the world. So each camp will have 3 leaders, and you might have someone teaching music from Bulgaria, and music from South Africa, and music from the Republic of Georgia. And it's a really life-changing experience at any age. So if you or anyone you know thinks that it sounds like a good idea to spend a whole bunch of time singing with other people who also like singing, it's the program for you. There's camps running all summer. There's probably camps coming through the Middlebury area with concerts that are always a lot of fun. We highly recommend you look it up. But this next piece, we like to say, is a hard-driving story about hard-drinking Corrie, whose life goes downhill in a whiskey still. And now, the first sign of her moral decline is when she picks up a banjo and a bottle of moonshine. This is Darlin' Corrie.
Wake up, darling Corrie, what makes you sleep so sound? The revenue officers are coming, gonna tear your still house down. back dead. Corn liquor's killing me dead. Well, the first time I saw darling Corrie, she was standing in the door, her shoes and her stockings in her hands, and her bare feet on the floor. Well, the next time I saw darling Corrie, she was standing by the sea. She had a pistol strapped around her body and a banjo on her knee. Well, the last time I saw darling Corrie, she had a wine glass in her hand. She was drinking that sweet piss and liquor with a low-down gambling man. Don't you hear them bluebirds a-singing? Don't you hear that mournful sound? They're preaching Corrie's funeral in the lonesome graveyard ground. Dig a hole in the meadow, dig a hole in the cold, cold ground. Go and dig me a hole in the meadow, just to lay darling Corrie down. Wake up, darling Corrie, what makes you sleep so sound? The revenue officers are coming, gonna tear your stale house down.
Next, we're going to sing a song by Cyril Tawney. Windborne does a lot of songs that are written by other people, but they're all our own arrangements, and we have a collaborative arranging process. There's no one of us that goes off and writes Windborne's arrangements. We all improvise it, and it comes about through magical singing process. And so we'd like to sing you one of those arrangements. This is Grey Funnel Line, which refers to the British Navy.
Don't mind the rain nor the rolling sea. The weary night never worries
until blue waters turn to green. Then I'll dance on down that walk ashore and sail the great funnel line no more. Here's one more day on the great funnel line.
Thank you so much. So we've been talking about this Song on the Times project now for a while, and it's an album, but it's also actually a book, and it's a project that came about around 2 years ago, and in January of 2017, think about that, where that was in American history, we had just launched our crowdfunding campaign to get this project off the ground. We were a group that only toured about 2 weeks out of the year, and we were in New York City for a gig and said, you know what, we have all these songs of social struggle. What we have to do for today's social struggle is go down to Fifth Avenue and sing one of these songs outside this particularly shiny tower on Fifth Avenue, which is of course what we did. And there was a video of that, just about a 30-second clip of us singing that went viral, and 1 million people saw it all over the country and around the world. And people started writing to us and asking us to bring this music and bring this message to them in different places. And so we said, you know what, this is as good a time as any. And so we've actually, for the past year and a half, we've jumped into it, and now bringing this message and music is our full-time job, which we're very excited about. And we, thank you. We actually just this morning had to reorder the project, another 5,000 of these books, but you can get to the last box that we have over in the tent. We're going to sing you the song that we sang there, and it's called Song of the Lower Classes. The melody is by Ian Robb.
We plow and sow, we are so low that we delve in the dirty clay, till we bless the plain with golden grain and the vale with the fragrant hay. Our place we know, we are so low down at the landlord's feet. We're not too low the bread to grow, but too low the bread to eat. We're low, we are so low, yet from our fingers glide the silken flow and the robes that glow round the limbs of the sons of pride. And what we get and what we give, we know, and we know our share. We're not too low the cloth to weave, but too low the cloth to wear. Down, down we go, we are so low to the hell of the deep sunk mine. But we gather the proudest gems that glow, and the crown of the despot shines. Whenever he lacks upon our backs fresh loads he deigns to lay, we're far too low to vote the tax, but not too low to pay. We're low as to war we go, to fight some foreign country that was yesterday our greatest friend, but today's our enemy. God bless our boys, the papers scream, churchmen cry. When the war is won and home we come, who cares if we live or die? We're low, so low into boats we go to flee war in our home country. And we'll try to make a better life when we land across the sea. But it's send them back, the press cries out, back to where they came. We're far too low to feed and clothe, but not too low to blame. We are so low, but soon we know that the low folk will arise. The tyrants in their towers of gold shall hear the people's cries. No more shall they hold us in thrall, their lies we will not heed. But every heart shall hear the call, and the people will be free.
Thank you. Thank you so much. During the Spanish Civil War in the 1930s, although it was a domestic conflict within Spain, there was a group of fighters from all over the world that traveled to Spain to join in the fight against fascism. And they were called the 15th, or the Abraham Lincoln Brigade, La Quince Brigada. And there was a soldier in that group who took an old Spanish folk song, and in keeping with the folk tradition, rewrote all the lyrics to be a song that was popularized in the English-speaking world through the singing of Pete Seeger, called Viva la Quince Brigada. And it's a song with a very powerful anti-fascist message. It says things like, our only wish is to take down fascism, and we fight against the traitors, the mercenaries, and the fascists. And to us, the last verse in particular jumped out, which says, now we're leaving Spain to fight on other fronts. And to us, this really speaks to the fact that the fight against hate and bigotry and fear-mongering is one that's not over and that is ours to carry into the future. So this is Viva la Quince Brigada.
Viva la Quince Brigada, rumba, 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 viva la Quince Brigada, rumba, 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 que sea cubierto de gloria, ay Manuela, ay Manuela. Que sea cubierto de gloria, ay Manuela, ay Manuela. Luchamos contra los traidores, rumba, rumba, rumba. Luchamos contra los traidores, rumba, rumba, rumba. Mercenarios y fascistas, ay Manuela, ay Manuela. Mercenarios y fascistas, ay Manuela, ay Manuela. En el frente de Jarama, rumba la rumba la rumba la. En el frente de Jarama, rumba la rumba la rumba la. No tenemos ni aviones, ni tanques, ni cañones, ay Manuela. No tenemos ni aviones, ni tanques, ni cañones, ay Manuela. Solo es nuestro deseo, rumba la rumba la rumba la. Solo es nuestro deseo, rumba la rumba la rumba la. Acabar con el fascismo, ay Manuela, ay Manuela. mismo, ay Manuela, ay Manuela. Ya salimos de España, rumba la rumba la rumba la. Ya salimos de España, rumba la rumba la rumba la. Por luchar en otros frentes, ay Manuela, ay Manuela. Por luchar en otros frentes, ay Manuela, ay Manuela. Viva la 15 brigada, rumba la rumba la rumba la. Viva la 15 brigada, rumba la rumba la rumba la. Que sea cubierto de gloria, ay Manuela, ay Manuela. Que sea cubierto de gloria, ay Manuela, ay Manuela.
Another question that we get asked a lot, I guess I got all the FAQ introductions in this set, but another question that we get a lot is how we make our arrangements. And Lynn told you a little bit about that earlier, but rather than stand up here and tell you more about that, we've rewritten the lyrics to one of our songs to be a little Windborne how-to guide.
Oh, when we sing a lilting ballad, we start with Will's beauteous solo voice, all for to hear the main theme plainly. Besides, we had to make some kind of choice. Then Lynn joins in all on a drone part. Well, not quite, she'll sing notes 2 or 3 as we establish the second section of this original Windborne melody. And then we raise our 4 full voices in harmonies both clear and strong. It's the most straightforward arrangement that you will hear in this whole song. The second section has some crunches because we like to add in funky chords. The drama builds as we sing louder and then pull back on these last words. The next verse, Lauren sings a high drone to change the texture of our tune. The shift is subtle but effective and warns that more is coming soon. Then Jeremy drops out of the arrangement and Will sings melody while the women bend. Now I'm back. Then we continue all 4 together. Our mission here is almost fulfilled. Oh, Will leads bravely into the last verse, but Jeremy makes up his harmony. He does this on all of our arrangements. Despite him, we sing most earnestly. A quiet entrance leads to the finish of this long ballad. Then you can go fast build to the high point of the B part. You might think this is the end, but no, the final 2 lines are worth repeating. The song concludes now hushed and slow.
This next song comes to us from the U.S. Gold Rush, which, as we like to say, didn't pan out so well for everyone. Called "Can't Stay in These Diggins."
Well, I'll pitch my tent on this campground,
Few days,
and give old Satan another round, and
I am going home. I can't
stay
stay in these diggings. Few days, Lord, I can't stay in these diggings. And I am going home.
Although I've liked the diggins here,
Few days,
I won't stay here another year, and
I am going home. I can't stay in these diggings. Few days, Lord, I can't stay in these diggins. And I am going home.
For years I've labored in cold ground,
Few days,
but now at last I'm homeward bound, and
I am going home. I can't stay in these diggings. Few days, Lord, I can't stay in these diggins. And I am going home.
I'm going home to stay a while.
Few days,
Before I go, I'll plant a smile, and
I am going home. I can't stay in these diggins. Few days, Lord, I can't stay in these diggins. And I am going home.
These banking thieves I will not trust.
Few days,
and with me take my little dust.
and I am going home. I can't stay in these diggins. Few days, Lord, I can't stay in these diggins. And I am going home.
Well, my mother, she has gone before.
Few days,
I'll meet her soon at glory's door, and
I am going home. I can't stay in these diggins. Few days, Lord, I can't stay in these diggins. And I am going home. I can't stay in these diggins. Few days, Lord, I can't stay in these diggins. And I am going home.
so I'll pitch my tent on this campground,
Few days,
and give old Satan another round, and
I am going home. I can't stay in these diggins. Few days, Lord, I can't stay in these diggins. And I am going home. I can't stay in these diggins. Few days, Lord, I can't stay in these diggins. And I am going home. I can't stay in these diggins. Few days, Lord, I can't stay in these diggins. And I am going home.
Last year when we were performing at Old Songs Festival, we met the incredible, it's a great festival, yes. We met Joe Jenks, who is an incredible singer-songwriter, and one of those singer-songwriters who has the ability to write songs which really feel timeless, which speak to things happening currently and yet have a weight to them and feel like they could be an older, more traditional type song. And so for him, we make an exception to mostly singing older songs, and we wrote an a cappella arrangement of his song "Lady of the Harbor," and it refers to the Statue of Liberty.
And this one's dedicated to all of the families that are being held at the border. If you're not doing something about that, go home and do something, because now's the time.
From And so it was our families, they sailed from Poland, Britain, France, and Germany. Their earthly cares packed in their bags, they cast their gaze upon the lady of the harbor, and she welcomed them with open arms. She said, "Let my children in." Shine on, shine on, oh you lady of the harbor. Now we're locking down the borders, and we're filling up the jails, and we say they don't belong. How conveniently do we forget that we've all come to sing the same sweet song. Will the dream survive the strain? Will huddled masses have a chance to learn its sweet refrain? Or will we fall into our fears and turn our backs against the lady of the harbor? No, we'll welcome them with open arms and say, "Let her children in." Shine on, shine on, oh you lady of the harbor. Oh you lady of the harbor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for having us here. Thanks to the Festival on the Green and to all the volunteers and the staff, particularly to Beth Duquette for inviting us to be here. It's been a real pleasure. As was mentioned at the beginning, we do have CDs over in the gazebo of a few different types, including the Song of the Times, which when you see it will look like a book. It is a book, but it's got a CD in the back. The liner notes just got really, really big, but to whet your appetite for the next act, for Bon Débarras, we're going to sing you a Québécois song. It's called Les Tisserands, and it goes through the sort of weekly schedule of a weaver in Quebec. On Monday, they have a big party and do a lot of drinking. So on Tuesday, they just sort of sit around and deal with the hangover. On Wednesday, they go into the studio and set up the loom, so figure out the pattern, so that on Thursday, they're good and ready to go visit their girlfriends. And on Friday they do a lot of weaving. And then on Saturday, the piece isn't finished yet. So on Sunday, it's time to go back to the client and ask for some more money. You can ask Bon Débarras after that set whether that's true about Québécois weavers. We can confirm or deny nothing. So this is Les Tisserands. We're Windborne. We're so happy to have been here. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you.
You can also, after the show, you can come say hi to us, but also you can find us windbornesingers.com or Windborne Singers on Facebook or wherever you find all of that. Thank you.
Les tisserands font plus que les évêques.
Les tisserands font plus que les évêques.
Les lundis se font une fête.
Petit pétard, et ils trop gros.
couchette à lever le matin, piquin. Ah, la navette, le montant viendra. Le montant viendra.
Le mercredi, il va changer la pièce.
Le mercredi, il va changer la pièce.
Et le jeudi, il va voir la maîtresse.
Petit pétard, petit trop gros et petit trop fin, couchette à lever le matin, piquin. Ah, la navette, le montant viendra. Le montant viendra.
Le vendredi, il travaille sans cesse.
Le vendredi, il travaille sans cesse.
Le samedi, la pièce n'est point faite.
Petit pétard, petit trop gros et petit trop fin, couchette à lever le matin, piquin. Ah, la navette, le montant viendra. Le montant viendra. Le samedi, la pièce n'est point faite.
Samedi, la pièce n'est point faite.
Et le dimanche, il faut de l'argent mettre. Petit pétard, petit trop gros et petit trop fin, couchette à lever le matin, piquin. Ah, la navette, le montant viendra. Le montant viendra. Dit donc, 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 Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Wow. I don't know French, but très bon sounds pretty good to me. All right, don't go too far away. We're going to be starting up in about 15 minutes. If you haven't signed up...